And the FAA is planning to slap Boeing with another set of fines at about $5.4 million for installing what they call substandard parts on the wings of almost 200 of its 737 MAX jets, which have been grounded since last year. But that's not all. At least 44 Southwest jets, older model 737s, were outfitted with these faulty tracks, now raising questions over the manufacturer of these parts, who were made by Spirit Aerosystems. So here to discuss the trouble in the air, former NTSB official Jamie Finch is in studio. Jamie, thank you for being with us. I know you're a busy guy, but this story just, holy cow, just keeps moving, Jamie. Boeing can't seem to catch a break here, but do they actually deserve one? I mean, 2 crashes that killed everyone on board, a litany of internal documents revealing the contempt and the mockery of the FAA system. Now this wing track problem. Right. How does this company need to respond to this if they only have 30 days?
Well, they need to be. They've had some time on this. They've known that this was a problem, and I think that they are already working with the carriers trying to get this resolved. So I think that they'll have time to get this problem fixed for the aircraft. But this is, yeah, you're right. I mean, Boeing has not had a really bad run of luck here in the last year, almost year and a half now. Yeah. And they just, now that they've changed the leadership, I think that they've turned a corner on this, but they're just going to have to clean out some of the negativity and bad culture that had developed over the last, during the last leadership.
Yeah, certainly a lot of people are upset that that Muhlenberg is walking away with over $60 million. I
know. It's really insulting to him.
It's
insult to injury, and you know, they kept him from having some of his salary from 2019, but at the same time, when someone's walking away with $60+ million from a job where they just got fired, it makes you wonder.
Contracts are contracts, right? Not a lot you can do there. And these new reports, Jamie, revealed that these faulty tracks that are made by Spirit Aerosystems, which is a Boeing supplier in the Midwest, was the fault of Boeing's poor oversight. Do you agree with that assessment? Is it Boeing's fault, or is it Spirit Aerosystems?
I think in these kind of situations, there's plenty of blame to go around. I think that Boeing, the buck stops with Boeing, and they were the main manufacturer and so forth, and they need to be overseeing their suppliers properly, and it doesn't seem like they were. Now, I don't think that Boeing should be the only one that's held accountable. I think that the suppliers, the suppliers and management there need to be held responsible for their role in this. So I don't think that it's an all-out 100% Boeing problem completely.
Yeah, it starts rolling down the hill, doesn't
Absolutely.
And the FAA also wants to penalize Southwest Airlines, who also have these faulty tracks, for almost $4 million. They want to hit them with those fines for failing to properly calculate plane weight and improper balancing of loads on, get this, 22,000 flights in 2018. That is crazy. What is happening to America's aviation industry? Are they cutting corners? I mean, America used to be the leader in aviation. Did America just get comfortable and just start slacking off?
Well, when I was at NTSB, that's what we found. When you're having a good run, you relax, and your standards may not be up to par as they were when you're on full alert. And so we've really got to make sure that we're getting these people and these companies back on track and paying attention to what they need to be doing and doing their jobs.
Yeah, it seems like no one's minding their P's and Q's anymore.
That's correct. Yeah.
And as a side note, Jamie, the tragic admission that we learned this weekend by Iran saying that they mistakenly shot down the Ukrainian flight last week. Boeing was the plane maker. So 2 questions come to mind here. Why didn't the Tehran airport shut down all flights that night? Because it seems like this was an easy thing to do to avoid tragedy. And Boeing, as a company, along with the families, and you dealt with people in that situation who've lost family members in these flights, do they have any recourse?
Well, regarding your first question on the airspace, the U.S. had already blocked any U.S. carriers from flying over Iraq or Iran in that airspace at that time, because we had we'd been warned previously that there was something that was about to happen. So we were not allowing our carriers to fly there. Now, what Iran was doing is a different, as far as what their restrictions are. Now, hindsight's 2022, and we're looking at this, and why didn't you shut down the airspace, et cetera?
Sure.
I don't think that anybody was really planning on there being an accidental shoot down of a plane, but this is what we've learned here. Human error can cause fatalities. And so and you've got to take those extra precautions, and they should have taken those extra precautions. Answering your second question regarding their recourse. Boeing, I'm not as worried about Boeing. Boeing was not at fault. They have no responsibility. It's a bad PR move and not something that was good. Obviously, Boeing didn't need this for their company, and also it's always sad for them also because Boeing doesn't want to see planes going down. And so it's bad for them in that thing. But for the recourse for the families, it's very limited. There are international treaties and proposals that we have, but they really are kind of toothless. Individuals cannot sue governments. Governments can sue other governments. So they may have a time in place when they get to the International Court in The Hague, but that could be years. I will say that the Ukrainian president and prime minister has already announced that they are going to be giving about what equates to $8,300 US to each one of the family members. So, you know, I think that that's kind of a Band-Aid for right now. And there will be other lawsuits. It's going to be very interesting to see this as we go along.
Certainly tragedy, no matter which way you cut it. Jamie Finch, thank you so much for your expertise.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.